God bless you. And today we are going to study little deeper into the flood, the Noah's flood, how the rain came, and then, if time permits, we will study also the theory of Pangaea, or what we call it, or the scientists call it, ancient supercontinent. Let us start with rain. But before we go into the rain, let me clarify. The earth which we know now is not the earth before the Noah's flood. We know that according to Bible, God created heaven and earth about 6,000 years ago, and about 4,400 years ago, the Noah's flood took place. That is a creation timeline. According to evolution, 20 billion years ago, Big Bang happened, and then about 4.6 billion years ago, Earth came into existence, and the man evolved around 330 million years ago only. So, let us talk about rain. There is one phenomena called a latent heat of condensation that evolutionists are pushing to counter-argue the Noah's flood. According to the latent heat of condensation, when it rains, the rain releases the heat in the atmosphere. So what the evolutionists are saying, that if, according to Bible, if the Noah's flood has happened, then it would have rained so much, which would have released so much heat, that basically the entire earth could have been cooked. Nothing could have survived. And according to latent heat of condensation, the theory is correct. If it has rained so much, then there would be a significant heat would have released in the atmosphere. But the one key factor that evolutionists are forgetting, that the Noah's flood was not just due to rain. Because as I said earlier, the earth before the flood was created little bit different. So if you take, let me explain you. If you take this earth before the Noah's flood, and if you slice it, you can see there was a water under the crust of the earth, which is not today. There was a water, massive storage of a water under the crust. This is the condition of before the Noah's flood. And how we can say that this could have been the case? Let us turn into Bible. If you turn with me, Psalm 24:1, it says, "The earth is the Lord's and all its fullness, the world and those who dwell therein. For he has founded it upon the seas and established it upon the waters." So, Bible in Psalm 24:1 and 2 says that God established the earth above the water. We don't know how it was, but there was a water under the crust. If you turn with me, Psalm 33:7, it says, "He gathers the water of the sea together as a heap. He lays up the deep in storehouses." So like if you have a water tank, in that sense, it says that when God created, there was a massive water storehouses under the earth. If you turn with me, Psalm 136, verse 6, it says, "To him who laid out the earth above the waters." Psalmist says that God laid out earth above the waters. Job 38, if you read there, it says, "Or who shut in the sea with doors when it burst forth and issued from the womb." All these verses points out that the earth was different. Before the Noah's flood, there was a massive storage or water body under the crust. And if you read Genesis 7, 11 and 12, it gives the account how the flood came. Let me read Genesis 7, 11. In the 600th year of Noah's life, in the second month, the 17th day of the month, on that day all the fountains of the great deep were broken up. Here, Bible says that the fountain of great deep under the earth were broken up, and the windows of heaven were opened. So rain was coming from the above, and the fountains from the deep were opened up. Verse 12, and the rain was on the earth 40 days and 40 nights. So it was not just the rain that covered the entire earth, but there were massive fountains that was under the crust that opened up, that created Noah's flood. Now that also explains the fault line we are finding all over the earth, because when the earth opened up, it created a fault line. So friends, the latent heat of condensation is taking only account, if you take this law or theory, that is true. But it is not just the rain that created the flood. It was the water under the earth that also burst open. And that is why it did not release such a massive heat that could have destroyed any form of life. Let us talk about Pangaea, ancient supercontinent. We know that today we have different continents, but the earth didn't have 7 continents 300 million years ago. But there was one giant, massive supercontinent, and that is called Pangaea. And to point out or to prove the theory, scientists are bringing up this certain theory that look how South America and Africa fit with each other, just like a jigsaw puzzle. And scientists says that look, South America and Africa fits with each other. It proves that the theory of Pangaea, ancient supercontinent. However, so many people are not aware that to make the Pangaea or entire ancient supercontinent theory acceptable, the researchers has shrunk Africa, the continent of or area of Africa, by 35 to 40% so it can fit with South America. In Pangaea, they eliminate Mexico and Central America. So that means Panama, Costa Rica, Guatemala, Belize, Honduras, Nicaragua. They just removed them so that Pangaea can be proved that all continents fit with each other. They also rotate Europe and South America counterclockwise, and Africa they rotate clockwise so they can fit each other. And after rotating Europe and South America counterclockwise, after rotating Africa clockwise, after eliminating Mexico and Central America, and after reducing Africa to 30 to 40%, scientists say that look, now South America and Africa fits. That's why Pangaea theory is right. Well, we know that a lot of things are not communicated or not, people are not aware of it. If you take the Bible account, whether it's a rain, whether it's a flood, whether it's a deep water come out, whether it is how the fault line created on earth, it all points to a massive flood that came We call it Noah's flood. Friends, Bible is trustworthy. God is true and his words are true. You can believe on them. God bless you and thank you.